to my thoughts of Forests of Pangaia. I hope I'm saying this right. If I'm not, I'm so sorry. So I did a playthrough with Ryan, and I will link that down below in the description, and I will also put a little link in the eye over here somewhere up top, where you can also click on that if you want to see a playthrough of this game. So really what we're going to talk about is what I enjoyed about this, things that maybe I think could maybe do better, things that can be changed. This is still a Kickstarter, and while I've had this copy, there have been some rules updates. So, you know, it's currently changing just a little bit, some stuff that's made it a little bit better in my opinion. But first of all, the obvious, beautiful box. Beautiful components. Like, these wood tree components are so beautiful. I was blown away that this was a prototype in receiving this, because wow, great. Also, the backs of the ritual cards, the cards themselves are really pretty, and they have the achievement cards as well that have really nice delicate backgrounds as well that I just really enjoy. The player boards all have this like little golem on there that's so cute. It actually kind of reminds me of Century Golem, just like a little bit, because you know the golem's there. But I kind of wish that maybe they had different backgrounds on every player board, just because that's just a me preference in types of like trying to get a little bit more immersive with it. But I've only played this in a 2-player account. This game is a 2 to 4 player game, and you know that can change a little bit of rules and also how long the game is and how it plays. But in a 2-player game, I really enjoy this. Why I enjoy this? Because it is a competitive game. It's an area control where you're trying to control certain areas based off of the cards that were drawn out. Now, the previous rules that I had, you only were able to complete the cards that you drew, but now with these new rules of being able to complete all the cards that are face up on the ritual board and your own personal ritual card, it makes it that much more competitive, a little bit more tension. You're really paying attention to what the other person is doing as well as paying attention to what you're doing. You have to, because you want to gain the points before they do, and you have to kind of guess as to what you think that the ritual card is that they have secretly hidden, which is super cool. I like how they did that. I love also how they also made a little bit more tension with the treetops. You have to gain different elements in order to gain treetops, and when you unlock the 3s and 4s, you're able to also gain points if those are uncovered by the end of the game. Also, the fact of the 2s and the 3s the treetops have to be uncovered for you to gain 1 seed. On the personal board here. So you're not just able to continuously gain seeds, you're trying to figure out what elements you need and when you want to actually play that so you can gain that extra seed. And also the fact that the trees themselves are a limited quantity is what I mean. They're not limited quality. They're quantity. So what that means is, while I was playing, I was like, dude, I have so many trees. I'm going to be good. Like, I'm just going to keep going around. I'm just going to monopolize the whole board with my trees. Again, 2 players, so it's a smaller map, and I ran out of trees. And also seeds. I was just planting seeds like continuously, not really, I guess, paying attention to how many trees I had, because every time I was like, oh, I could just decay when I do a ritual and gain those back. But I did run out of the trees, which really put a hindrance on me being able to complete rituals. So you have to be selective in where you're placing your seeds, because you don't want to run out of these trees, because that is the most important thing. You have to have that monopoly on where you're going. Again, you are also fighting for area depending on how many seeds you have, and I like that there's a tiebreaker as well, that you're able to, you know, use the trees that are surrounding to say, okay, well, I have more of my tree in this area, so I actually gain that. But you're able to disrupt what other people are doing in that way, maybe making them slow down, or you're just trying to gain that element because they're in an element that you actually want, and so you're like, well, I'm just going to place here because you're going to give me that element when you grow that tree. So a lot going on. I think I would really enjoy this at a 4-player as well, because there is that tension. I know some of the people I play with do have more of that kind of competitive nature, so I would like to see that. I am usually more of a calm person, but as you can see in the playthrough, I was trying to be a little bit more competitive, just show you different variations of this game so that you're just like, oh, it's going to be super easy and nobody's going to be like mad at each other, but you can be, because you can really mess things up when you are playing these rituals. Now, one thing I would change is while we were playing with the new version is sometimes when you now complete the new rituals, sometimes people will work on, say, a treetop and just really build up to do that ritual. And if somebody completes it before you, now you have a bunch of treetops on one tree that you can't just decay. You would have to have a specific ritual to be able to decay that. Maybe that would be better in the long run, but a different rules variant that I think that might help is maybe being able to decay 2 treetops to be able to create a seed, or maybe decay the whole tree to make a seed, something like that may make it a little bit easier for being able to play in the future if somebody does take a ritual card from you. Again, only in a 2-player game. I haven't played with the 4 players, so maybe that might be easier, harder, not really sure. But really enjoyed at the 2-player. Again, not very competitive for me. We were very nice to each other, which was helpful, and how I typically like to play, but I can see myself wanting to play this in a competitive fashion because of how it plays, and really it's not that, I guess, mean or take that. While I was playing it, I was like, okay, I can do this and not feel too bad because I might not win, or you can kind of guess a little bit as to what's the possibilities of what's going to happen. But all in all, I enjoy this. I enjoy the art. I enjoy the theme. I enjoy that it's a variable every time you play. You're able to place down these tiles that can change every single time because of how you're placing them. So that makes it very replayable in my opinion. I just think that they did a really good job with the components and the way that this game plays so far. I think that this actually could have an expansion to it in the future. That makes me really excited because that means, like, you know, possibly more things in the future. That's just me saying that I think that this game could have an expansion just based off of what it is, and it's a good quality core game. I think that, you know, some different things that could be added in later could really make this game even better. But for me, this is a game that I would keep on my shelf just because I enjoy the artwork, the theme, and the mechanics of the game. But, whew, lots to say. If you enjoy my videos, please support me on Patreon. This is just my thoughts on the game. This is unpaid thoughts just to give you my opinion on what I actually thought of the game. But again, support me on Patreon if you want to. I do have merch. I will link that also down in the description so that you can possibly purchase some merch, some shirts, or maybe some cups if you want. I will also link the Kickstarter down in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.